Hi, today as earlier discussed in the previous video, I'll be sharing the next 5 essential things to note on the subject of negotiation. But just before I get down to the business of today, let me do a quick recap of the first 5 things that we learned in Negotiation Series Part 1. First thing that we learned is that we need to understand that all things are negotiable. This is basic and important to note. Then I went on to say that the key is to ask politely and in a friendly manner, and you just be amazed at how quickly people can actually improve their terms for you. Then secondly, we established that negotiation is successful only with a person who has the authority to approve the terms and conditions that you agree upon. So don't beat around the bush trying to get a good deal with the person who isn't in the authority to make the good decision, okay? And if you discover that you're dealing with that person who cannot make the final decision, you need to also assume the position of not being able to make the final decision as well. Now, this levels the playing field, and the best way to know if that person is in the authority to make the final call is to simply ask. All right. Thirdly, we established that we should put ourselves in the shoes or situations of the other person. This helps us prepare well and effectively for any question or suggestion that the other party may bring up. Fourthly, we learned that we can actually get better deals if we know how. The primary thing there is to ask. Finally, on that last one, we said that the purpose of a negotiation is to enter into an agreement such that both parties have their needs satisfied and are motivated to go into more deals in the future. Alright, so now that we have our memories refreshed, let's begin with the next 5 things to note. The sixth thing to note is, in every negotiation, there is always a minimum of 4 things to be decided upon. 1 major thing and 3 minor things. Alright? Now, let me explain. Let's take the movie Money Heist for example. For the professor, his top 4 priorities in his negotiation revolved around 1. Buying time, 2. Getting the money and the gold, 3. Saving his team, 4. Punishing the police system. While for the inspectors, their 4 issues were saving the hostages, capturing the criminals, making the police and themselves look credible, and lastly, reopening the Bank of Spain or the Royal Mint. Now, research has shown that 80% or more of the content of the negotiation will revolve around these 4 things. No matter how long or complex the negotiation is going to be, no matter how many clauses or sub-clauses or different details and terms and conditions, at the end, you'll find out that most of the discussion and the most important points of this discussion will revolve around 4 basic items. Now, these 4 basic items will always vary depending on the product and the subject of the negotiation at hand. Also, it's important to note that it can be extremely powerful if the 2 parties rank the importance of the 4 issues in different orders. Okay, this can also lead to an excellent win-win situation that satisfies the most important need of each party. All right, so think of the next negotiation deal that you'll be having, and then make a list of your 4 considerations and then place them in order of priority. Also make a list of the other parties' considerations in order of importance. Then decide how you can use this information to your advantage. The 6th thing to note is timing is everything in a negotiation. Timing is everything in a negotiation. The more urgent the need is, the less effective the negotiator. So if the other person is eager to make a deal, or he or she is in a rush, understand that that person is functioning under a disadvantage that you can exploit to your own advantage. The person who allows himself or herself to be rushed will get the worst of the bargain. Rushing or using time pressure is a common tactic in negotiating, and you must be alert to other people trying to use it on you. People will often tell you that you have to make up your mind quickly or it will be too late. So whenever you hear this, you should take a deep breath and patiently ask questions to find out just how urgent the situation really is. If someone insists that he or she needs an immediate decision, you can reply by saying, if you must have an answer now, then the answer is no. But if I could take a little time to think about it, then the answer just may be different. Never get rushed into buying something or making a deal. If the deal under negotiation involves a lot of money or has a serious futuristic effect or impact, buy time for yourself. Okay, take 24 hours, a week, or longer to think over your decision. On the other hand, you can use this tactic to your advantage by increasing the urgency so the person has a limited time to make a thoughtful decision. But just do not let anybody use it on you. Now, the eighth thing to note is 80% or more of your success in any negotiation will be determined by how well you prepare in advance. Action without planning is the cause of every failure. The very best negotiators are those who take their time to prepare the most, and they think through the situation completely before negotiation begins. Now, facts are everything, so be sure to get the facts before you begin. Do your research, ask questions, listen carefully, and take notes. Do your homework. One tiny detail can be all that it would take to succeed in that negotiation. And ensure to check your assumptions. Incorrect assumptions lie at the root of most mistakes. So one major assumption is that the other party wants to make a deal. Well, in some cases, the other party really doesn't want to make a deal. As a matter of fact, in some cases, the other party has already decided to deal with someone else. So you have to confirm first before you invest all your time and all your emotions. Alright? Number 9 is the person who wants the negotiation to succeed has the lesser bargaining power. It's natural. The more you want to make the purchase or sale, the less power you have. Top negotiators have developed the act of appearing uninterested, as if they have other options to make, or to other options, just like this present deal. So no matter how badly you want something, you should appear natural and detached. The more important something is to you, the more important it is for you to appear unemotional, unaffected, and uninterested. If you appear very in need and dependent on getting that thing, the more the other person feels in charge, and this will make the person play on that opening. Also, the more you can make the other party desire what you are selling, the better deals you can get. Focus all your energy, efforts on building the value and pointing out the benefits to the party, and so that the other party can understand what he or she stands to gain from your purchase or the purchase of your product. And finally, the 10th thing on this particular set of 5 things is to understand that people have a deep subconscious feeling and need to reciprocate anything that is done for them. Okay, this is called the law of reciprocity, and this is one of the most powerful of all determinants of human behavior. When someone does something nice for us, we want to repay that person. We want to reciprocate. We want to be even. Because of this, people we seek for opportunities to do something in return. This is the glue that holds a lot of human relationships together today. Now, the law of reciprocity is applied most actively in negotiating when the issue of concessions come up. Ideally, every concession in a negotiation should be matched by a concession of some kind on the part of the other person. The giving and getting of concessions is actually the very essence of a negotiation. The first party to make a concession is the party who wants the deal the most. So you must therefore avoid being the first one to make a concession, even if it's a small concession. Instead, be friendly and interested, but remain silent. The first person to make a concession will usually be the person who makes an additional concession, even without reciprocal concessions. So most purchasers and sellers are aware of this, and they recognize that early concessions are a sign of eagerness and are prepared to take advantage of it. So be very careful. And also, every concession that you make in a negotiation should be matched by an equal or greater concession from the other party. So if the other party asks for a concession, you may give it, but never without asking for something else in return. If you don't request a reciprocal concession, the concession that you give will be considered to have no value and will not help you as the negotiation proceeds. So if a person asks for a better price, suggest that it might be possible, but you will have to either decrease the quantity or lengthen the delivery date. Even if the concession is of no cost or no value to you, you must make it appear valuable and important to the other party, or it will not help you in the negotiation. Finally, to note on this last issue is some small concessions on small issues enable you to ask for large concessions on larger issues. One of the very best negotiating strategies is to be willing to give something in order to get something. When you make every effort to appear reasonable by conceding on issues that are unimportant to you, you put yourself in an excellent position to request an equal or even a greater concession later. So use this law of reciprocity to your advantage. Before you negotiate, make a list of the things that you want the other party, or that you think that the other party might want, and decide upon what concessions you are willing to give to get what you want. This preparation strengthens your negotiating ability considerably. So understand that this little exercise of thinking through these issues in advance will make you a much better negotiator. So like I said, this is a series, and we will continue. We will finalize the whole 15 things to note on the subject of negotiating in the next video. Kindly turn on your post notifications, and if you've not already subscribed, please do so.